Hello one and all, my name is Ryan Bruce, my friends call me Fluff, and today on Riffs, Beards, and Gear we check out two new pedals from Warm Audio. So as I've said before a gazillion times on this channel, Warm Audio has been crushing the pedal game, and today we're going to check out two new offerings from Warm. First, we are going to check out the WA-C1 chorus and vibrato, which is basically a take on the classic very first Boss pedal ever that's used by, John Frusciante and Andy Summers and a bunch of other big rock stars. We're gonna check this out, and we're also gonna check out the Pedal 76, and this is a pedal form UA 1176, basically with a bunch of bells and whistles that we will talk about in just a second. We're gonna check both of these out today. And before we go any further, this video is brought to you by the fine folks over at Sweetwater. Sweetwater has all of your pedal needs met, whether that is inexpensive pedals, boutique pedals, everything in between, digital pedals, modelers, all sorts of stuff. They got all of the pedal game cornered. And if you'd like to know more or browse for yourself for your own pedal collection, I will link down below in the description. All thoughts and opinions are mine. So first, let's start with the WA-C1 chorus and vibrato. Like I said, this is a take on the original Boss chorus, very famed chorus pedal. However, that original one you actually plug into the wall. The two examples that I have played personally were incredibly noisy just because, 40 years old at this point. And they were also the actual pedal is much larger than this offering from Warm. So this is modern amenities, as stereo output capabilities. This has a 9-volt power, which, again, the original one did not have that. High and low functionality, overall level controls, and there is depth and rate for each the vibrato and the chorus. You can switch between the two and then switch the effect on. This is a very good pedal. So next we have the Pedal 76. Now this is an 1176 in pedal form. My issue with other offerings from other companies is they always change something about it, or aesthetically does not look like an 1176. Don't change the sound. I want an 1176 in pedal form. Me specifically, I want it for my bass playing when I track bass. However, the Pedal 76 is all of the 1176 goodness in pedal form. There is a standard amplifier out, but there's also a balanced output for going straight into a mixing board. It is powered by a 9-volt adapter. There is mic level or line level selection, depending on how you want that balanced output going out. You got all the goodies. Very fast compressor. This is a FET style compressor. The 1176 circuit is traditionally very, very fast in operation, even at its slow settings. It's pretty fast. It goes past 20, in the ratio it goes past 20 to 1. It can be a compressor or a limiter. Enough of my yapping. Let's go ahead and fire up some of the amplifiers behind me and plug both of these things in to some amps. I'm gonna grab a guitar. We're gonna check these out. All right, so I have my Gibson Les Paul Custom with the stock 498T in the bridge. And first we have the Pedal 76, and then we have the WA-C1. Now we're gonna start with the chorus, and then we will get to the Pedal 76 in just a second. We have 3 different amplifiers I am gonna go through for this walkthrough, right? So first, we're gonna start, I have a Stream Deck, and I'm gonna switch between my amplifiers because I don't get to do this very often. First, we're gonna start with my 1976 Marshall JMP 2204 for the gainiest of the tones. Next, we're gonna back down the gain with a Diesel VH4 on channel 2. And then lastly, for the actual real cleans, we're gonna go to the MLC Sub-Zero VOG signature amplifier. Yes, the VOG amp has wonderful cleans. Okay, so let's start with the C1. The C1 is interesting because we can select between the vibrato and the chorus, right? This is This pedal is basically emulating the original Boss chorus from the 70s, right? This indicator right here is a peak indicator and not indicating that it's on and off, okay? So if I turn this effect on and off, we'll see the LED start to move in time with the rate controls of that particular effect. Vibrato. Now if I select over to the chorus, now when I hit hard, you will see it peaking a little bit right here. It's not really much to worry about. It's just letting you know that there is a little bit of peaking going on. It is clipping a little bit, but it's in a very musical way. And if I want to turn that off, the rate indicator simply stops. And it's pretty cool. So you just heard the chorus. Let's get warbly. Now, I will note that we also have basically a level control. This is just an overall level control, and currently I have it basically at unity, but if you start cranking up any of these effects, the volume can dip because it's more of an affected tone, and that's when you would use the volume to kind of compensate, but right now I basically have it unity. Let's get our Zach Wild on. Let's go back to the JMP 2204. Let's go back to the chorus. Let's get a real slow chorus going on. Now I will note that I am going into the front end of all these amplifiers. In this particular case, Zach will be going into the front end of his Marshall as well. I like the grittiness and dirtiness of this. Let's go back to the Diesel VH4, just a little bit of crunch. Vibrato. Pretty cool. So let's turn that off. Let's move over to the pedal 76. This is an 1176 in a pedal, like a legit 1176 in a pedal. I like its aesthetic. I like its tweakability, especially in the ratio section. So let's see how this sounds. This is gonna basically take off the tops of the transients, depending on how we set it with the guitar, all right? So. Very responsive to my playing. Let's crank up the output a little bit. Bypass. turn up the ratio a little bit. Right now we're at an 8:1. I have a somewhat fast release and a somewhat slow attack. Let's turn up the attack and really lop off the top endy pickiness of the transient. We're gonna really round off our sound. Hear how the uppermost top end kind of goes away? And you can see we're getting a lot of reduction here on the meter. Now, if we wanted to basically limit, we would crank this ratio way up. So maybe we go for a fast attack and a fast release. So it's gonna grab onto the note and then it's gonna release it really quickly. Now, because this is an 1176 circuit, we can basically bring out a lot of the grittiness of this circuit by kind of boosting the input rather. Let's see how this sounds in the context of a distorted context. We're really leveling off our guitar sound. Let's see how we hit the Marshall. You can hear how we're taking out a lot of the dynamics hitting the front end of the amp because we're compressing. We're compressing quite a bit right now, but it's interesting to note how these kinds of settings can affect going into the input, the front input of the amplifier. Pretty cool. So what do I think? Real talk, I'm not necessarily a chorus and vibrato guy normally. Like, you know, in my daily use, I'm not using chorus or vibrato. In a mixing scenario, I will sometimes apply chorus in post to make certain lead or melodic top line guitar lines pop out a little bit. However, vibrato, that's not something I normally use in my own personal toolbox, okay? This is an incredible sounding pedal. I do really love the chorus. This is probably the best pedal-based chorus I have heard probably ever, besides like my OG old Boss chorus that this is based on. However, the Pedal 76 is going to be a daily driver for my bass tracking from here on out. This offers all of the things that I love because I actually have an actual 1176 in my rack that is used for this vocal mic that I'm talking into right now. I use it every day. However, having one in pedal form that I can now plug my bass guitar into is lovely. I love it. I also just think it looks really, really cool. I love the aesthetic. It really evokes an 1176 flavor, and I love that. If you would like to know more information on either one of these new offerings from Warm Audio, I will link down below in the description. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing to further support this channel. And with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.